What's up? Welcome to Killing the Void podcast with Andrew Parks. That's me. As you can see, I'm doing this in my computer room, and we got a cat tree. Hopefully, maybe we'll see a couple cats run in and play. Uh, they're my favorite animal, to be honest. But today it's not about cats. We're going to be going over horseshoeing one more time. Well, not one more time, but probably the last time for a little while, anyways. I hope to get interviews in my next podcast. And so let's get started. Um, so as you guys know already from episode number one, I am a horseshoer. I've been doing it since 2005, right out of high school at the age of 18. I went to a school called Pacific Coast Horseshoeing. But you could get all that in episode number one and also my website, killingthevoid.com. Anyways, let's get started. In the last episode, I did it actually over a year ago, to be honest with you, and then I was gonna do podcasting, and my life got busy and hectic, and you guys know how that happens. But now I got a lot of time. Well, I don't really. I'm pretty full schedule and working, but I'm gonna make it a priority in my life to start podcasting regularly. Ugh, regularly. Oh look, we got a cat right there, Mally. All right. So, in my last episode, after it aired, a lot of people were sending me private messages and they were asking, what is the expectations that farriers have for their clients? Farriers is another word for horseshoeing, by the way. This is going to be interesting because I don't want to offend any of my actual horseshoeing customers, so let's try to get to this as mutual as possible. Alright guys, so let's get started. Let's start with the phone call or the text message. A lot of people are doing text nowadays instead of actually calling me. I really don't mind that. I'm not going to badmouth it. I actually prefer it since I'm kind of considered a millennial, but I'm probably like the very first generation. I'm 31 years old. When we think of millennials, we're thinking maybe like 27, 28 now. Yes, they're getting older actually. They're going to start getting into politics, but we're going to leave politics to another podcast. All right. So, one of the pet peeves I have personally, and I think other farriers have, and maybe other people in general that own a business, is hey, emergency. I haven't done my horse's hoofs in like 6 months. I need you now, ASAP. Can you be over here like within the hour? Um, First of all, you could go back to episode number one, but we'll just go through this really quick. Horses should be trimmed every 4 to 12 weeks, so that's every 1 month to 3 months. Some horses, very unusual cases, I probably come around maybe once a month that can go maybe like 6 months, 8 months without needing a trim. But that's very rare. They're living in rocky terrain, or the owner just rides them, or the horse just has shitty hoofs. Yes, this is adult podcast, so I will be using words like shitty. All right, so let's get back to it. I'm sorry if that offends anybody that's religious, by the way, but that's just how I talk sometimes. So when they're calling saying I haven't had my horse done in 6 months, yes, it could be that one rare case, right? So gotta give them a little bit of leeway, but it's like 99% unlikely, right? So, um, right away, that's a pet peeve. It's like if it's an emergency, you want to pay emergency call out, then yeah, I'll come out. But if it's just, oh well, he's just long, because you follow up. You if you're talking to him on the phone, you could follow up right away. Usually they're leaving a voicemail because I'm at work, or a text message, and I'll get back to text message after working. And so I'll text them back and I'll say, okay, it's an emergency, and then you find out, oh no, it's not technically emergency, it's just really long. Okay, so first off, that's your bad. That's not my fault that your horse got that long. Yes, I have sympathy. I'm going to try to get out there as soon as I can, to be honest, because I don't want any horse to be going 6 months without a trim. Oh, there's the cat again. Oh, by the way, I'm also doing a video for YouTube, so sorry you guys not watching. You got the audio version of my podcast. Then I'll get similar calls or texts. I need you to come out right away. And then you follow up like I just mentioned, and it's I got a show tonight or I got a show tomorrow. I was busy all week with work. Well, to be honest, usually people that take their horses to shows, they know there's going to be a show that weekend. So technically, they should have been calling me a week out in advance saying, "Hey, I got to show this next weekend. I really need my horse's host done before I go out. I don't want him to be tender-footed or whatever. I don't want any issues the day of." uh, Again, it's one of those things. If it's not an emergency, I'm probably just going to decline those type of people right off the bat, unless I'm really hurting for money that month or I just have the time. Um, but usually those type of people, I just kick to the curb. I say, nope, sorry, I'm too busy. Because, I have to save my time in case emergency does come up. I do work with vets. I have vets call me or I have people call me because a vet recommended them to me. So, I do have to meet out vets emergencies, and it's not fair that some horse has very bad founder, because it just ate a sack of grain a couple hours ago and we need to get right on it. We need to put some shoes on right away. We're going to turn those shoes backwards, by the way. Yes, you can shoe a horse with your shoes backwards. That's in episode number 1, so go back and listen. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. I'm very sorry. This is my second podcast episode, and I'm human like all of you. Um, all right, so let's move on. So those are the very first those are the very first impressions that leave a bad taste in my mouth with people when they first contact me. Um, other impressions, people, hey, I need my horses done. It's not a rush, but I'd like to schedule you in. And most people don't ask my price right off the bat. So I have to tell them, maybe they saw my ad and they know my prices already. That's often the case. But there are some that, they're unexpected. And then I always have to, this is a touchy subject. I always have to respond, whether it's over the phone or through text message, and say, I don't work with untrained horses any longer that don't stand well for the farrier. I just have to put that out there with all my new accounts. So if your horse kicks, bites, doesn't stand well, is going to do a bucking bronco. I just don't do that type of horses. And sometimes people get really, really offended. Uh, I don't know what kind of days they had. They maybe had a bad day and that maybe just rubbed them the wrong way, but it's something I have to tell up front because if I get there, the horse is bad, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. They're going to be like, why are you wasting my time? Oh my God, now I got to find another farrier. Ah, you just wasted my whole day. Oh, now I'm going to be all day calling new farriers. And it's just one of those things before you even get out there. If you're a farrier listening, I'm sure you do this. But if you don't, if you're new, you got to do this, all right? All right, so yeah, I know this episode's about farriers' expectations of their clients and accounts, but we're gonna kind of turn it around a little bit on us. And clients have expectations of us as well as farriers. They expect us to be on time, but so yes, they want us to be on time. Who doesn't want their appointments on time, right? Well, they expect farriers to always be 30 minutes to an hour late. This is a bad precedent that horseshoers in the past have left on almost every client until they find a very good horseshoer that works very well with their schedule. Yes, there are times where it's, hey, I can't be there. Just go do my horse. He ties up very well. I'll leave a check or I'll leave money. So that's not the subject for now. But we're talking about showing up on time. I'm usually always early. And let's say, I have 4 or 5 stops in the day. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my expectations. If I think job site 1 is going to take 1 hour and my travel time is going to take 30 minutes, I'm actually going to add a 15 to 30 minutes. I might arrive really early. I might arrive. So let's say I'm at job site at 8 a.m. and job site 1 at 8 a.m. and then I'm expected to be at job site 2 by, let's say, 10 a.m., right? So that gives me an hour to work, and then it gives me an hour to get to job site number two. Um, well, that first job site could go really quick. There could be a horse, maybe it has an abscess and just isn't wanting you to do its hoofs today. Because that happens. You get out there, you pop the abscess, or you try to dig it out and it's just too deep because it's a new abscess. And, it's like, hey, I have to come back tomorrow. You got to put some Epsom salt on that and let it soak. So then what happens is that cuts my schedule even sooner. So now I'm basically not doing one horse in that stop. So let's say I had four horses in that 1 hour mark. Now I'm actually doing three horses. So, and then it takes me 30-minute drive. So 45 minutes plus 30 minutes, that's an hour 15. Now I'm basically 45 minutes early to stop number two. Um, some people really hate this. They just, they're late risers. Like I have one of my favorite clients. She gets up at like literally 10 a.m. and that's in the summer. So like I'm working at 6 a.m. So I always got to put people before her, right? Uh so I try to do the best I can, but sometimes I arrive early. And you know what she does? She makes me sit at her second gate. I literally sit there for 15, 20, 30 minutes at her second gate. Or if she happens to let me in, because there's three gates. So let's say she lets me in. All right. So I'm in. I'm now at the barn. Well, guess what? She locks up all her halters. So I still have to wait that 20 to 30 minutes because she just got out of the shower. She's trying to blow her hair. Um, and that's an inconvenience to the farrier. Yes, I'm early, but you have to know who's servicing your horses. If they're usually early, then maybe that one day you should get up a little earlier, right? Because that farrier always kind of runs early. Or if uh, there's times maybe, let's say that first stop, let's use the same example. Instead of four horses that first hour at the first stop, let's say they just got a new horse the day before and they just didn't have time to tell you. Yes, that's a little inconvenient. They should have called me and said, oh, hey, I'm adding a horse to the schedule tomorrow so you could tell the rest of your people to bump up your time schedule. But stuff like that happens. Or, hey, my friend has their horse here and, they happen to figure out that you were coming out today and I'm very sorry it's last minute. That's usually the case. Usually those type of things go over pretty well. It's like, okay, okay, I'll add your horse. Or the neighbor sees you working on those horses and they're like, hey, I got a horse. It just needs a trim. Can I just walk it over real quick? Yeah, 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 that's fine. Okay. So now, look, so now instead of an hour, it's taken me an hour 15 minutes, right? Well, and then 30 minutes to get to job site number two. So now that's an hour and 45 minutes, and technically I'm still 15 minutes early. Really, you always have to leave that little time in there, that 15 minutes ish, because that 15 minutes could get zapped right away. You could get behind a car wreck. Now that's 15 to 20 minutes you're sitting there, right? So now you're actually going to be 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late. I really never want to be anywhere over 20 minutes late for my clients. That's not fair to them. So that's why I try to make my schedules flexible and give enough time for me to get from point A to point B. All right, so now that I'm at the account, farriers' expectations of their clients. Usually in the old days, the people would have their horses ready. They'd have them tied up all along the fence, all along their trailers, any type of tie-ups at their property. They're going to have a line of horses so you can get to work right away. As soon as you get there, get your job done. Obviously, these are horses that can be tied up. Some horses aren't so well mannered, and the owner has to hold them, right? So that's okay. the horses that tie up well, usually you want to get them done right away, or the owner's there standing, or they have a trainer or a farm worker that's holding that horse that they need to hold and they want to get it done first. That's fine. Usually those are the most difficult horses, and you want to actually do those horses last as a farrier. Okay, so this is another thing. So expectations. I'm sorry I'm breaking away here, but I got to get it in before I forget. Expectations of the farrier in regards to troubled horses or bad horses. Like I said, I don't do them anymore, but if I do them, or if there's a horse that leans really bad or is just difficult but still trained, I want to do that horse at the very end. I actually lost an account a couple years ago due to this. I kept telling the owner, the husband understood what I was trying to say. The wife could not comprehend what I was trying to tell her. I said, okay, so I do 4 trims at your property. 3 of your horses are really easy. I'd like to do any order those 3 horses first. Then the other horse I'd like to do last because technically my job, I have to set a pace for the whole day. In my work, labor work, you have it's like a marathon, right? Because your body gets tired gradually as it goes on. If you're sprinting that first lap in your first part of the day, right when you start, uh, that's going to set the pace for the rest of the day. You're going to be tired. You're going to exert a lot of energy. So, what I'm trying to explain is if I'm doing the bad horse first, that's like me sprinting for the first mile in a 6 mile marathon. That's just not smart. That's just not smart to waste all your energy on the first lap or the first mile. Um, and the lady wasn't understanding this. She said, "Well, they all got to get done, you know." Yes, I understand they all need to get done, but it's easier on my body to do that horse last. So if you guys have a troubled horse and you're listening to this, keep that in mind for your farrier. Um, be nice to them, because that is back-breaking work. They're bent over all day long. A joke that I believe maybe it was my fiance's mom that came up with, or she heard. She said, what do shoers and hookers have in common? And I was like, well, what do they have in common? Well, they're bent over all day long and make a lot of money. And I started laughing because that's true. Horseshoers are bent over all day long. And, I'm not trying to offend anyone in that night profession that needs to make a living. That's not my cup of tea, but, also I'm not begrudging it. All right. Anyways, back to the podcast after that little quirky joke. Maybe some of you guys got offended, and I am sorry. All right, so back to where I was. We were talking about how we want to do the bad horse last at each given stop. Usually, you get that driving break from stop 1 to stop 2 to stop 3, right? So that gives your body to recuperate a little bit, gives it a break. You get a fresh bottle of water. Um, Also, farriers, if you're listening to this, expectations of the client, they don't want you to show up to work drunk. Uh, a lot of the best horseshoers are actually like race horse shoers. They actually primarily work on the racetrack. And those dudes, they like to party hard. They make good money, they're always working, and they have a big nightlife. They like to hang out with the horse owners, the rich owners at the racetracks, and drink all their booze, and they come to work drunk. They've learned to be drunk all the time. Also, there's other shoers, a lot of cowboy shoers. They're hooked on drugs and uppers, not downers, but uppers, and they come to work, you know, bouncing off the walls, so to speak. And keep that in mind. You wouldn't do that in an office job. You shouldn't do it in any job. But horseshoeing, God, think about it. Use your brain, all right? If you're a shoer or if you're new or if you're wanting to do this, use your brain. Why do you want to be drunk or high around a 800-pound, 900-pound horse that can kill you. Like if you're spooking this horse, because horses are very what's the word? They're very spooky creatures. They're panicky. They flip out the smallest things. Kind of like the elephant that gets scared of a mouse running across the road. It's basically the same thing. There could be a baby sheep running across the field and the horse is going to flip out. It's going to buck and take off running. It's going to rear back. You don't want to be high. You want your brain running at 100%. You don't want to be foggy. You don't want to be you're you just got to be there. You got to be present. Horses are also very empathetic. Um, they feel people's emotions. So if you're very stressed, a lot of anxiety, that horse is going to be very anxious while you're working under it. And anxious horses are actually the most dangerous horses to work under. This is actually one of the type of horses that I usually say, I'm sorry, I can't shoe this horse. You're going to have to find a new farrier. Um, it's actually, I'd rather do a bad, not a bad, I don't want to, nobody wants to do a bad horse. I'd rather do an untrained horse that has a stable mind. It's going to take me maybe twice as long, three times as long to get this horse done because I'm basically now having to train this horse how to stand for a farrier. And that's usually what you leave for apprentices and new shoers. You give them the bad horses, right? I did my time. I've been doing this for over 13 years. Now it's someone else's time to do those horses. But nonetheless, I'd rather do one of those horses than do a schizophrenic horse. Those things are scary. They make you feel uncomfortable. They're shaking the whole time you're working under them. They believe you're going to hit them or they think you're going to eat them. They're just scary. Maybe, people make all kinds of excuses. And yeah, some are valid. This horse was abused in the past. It's rescued or whatever, some type of traumatic event happened, or my last farrier hit it with the RAS. That stuff that happens and it's unfortunate and I understand. But at the end of the day, I need to think of my own safety. I've had a few very bad injuries over the years, some where I've been out of work for months and weeks. uh, I'm just not looking to get hurt. But anyways, those horses that are scared, they're just always scared all the time. They are so dangerous because they can just flip out at any time, any second. And horses are faster than us humans. They can jerk, they could kick, they can rear up, they could trample you. I've been trampled before. It's not fun. Um, it's dangerous. Those horses are unpredictable. At least with the untrained horse, you already are going into the setting knowing that it's going to be hard, knowing to be aware. Whereas a nervous horse, it's making you nervous, so you're trying to get the job done fast. And as you're trying to get the job done fast, you then start to pull your mind away. You start to focus more on work. Like, let's say now we're focusing more 80% on work versus and 20% on keeping the horse's attitude in the back of your mind, right? Whereas with the bad horse, we're keeping maybe like 60% of on the work and 40% on the horse. And that's just because we expect that horse to take longer. That's untrained. We expect him to take long, so we already know we're going to be there for a long time. A nervous horse, you can't be there for a long time. That's just asking for a disaster to happen, right? So we need to get that horse done as soon as possible. And people don't like giving their horses sedations. Usually, these panicky horses, the people have to hold, they have to talk to them, they have to pet them, they have to tap them on the forehead. A lot of people saw that whole duct tape thing on the web. Um, it works for some horses, but not the smart horses. Not the smart horses. The smart horses, they know how to get that off. They rub it off on the owner's shoulder, on the body, and it's just a fiasco. All right, so let's get back on topic. Expectations of the clients from a horseshoer's perspective. Okay, here's a good one. Just yesterday, I confirmed with my appointment the night before. I said, "Hey, I got you down for tomorrow morning. We still good?" "Yeah, come on by." I get there. As soon as I get out of my vehicle, I haven't even gotten anything out of my vehicle to trim the horses yet. What do I hear? "Oh, by the way, I don't have any money." Okay. So, what? What a way to start off your morning. "I don't have any money to pay you today, but I need my four horses trimmed." Well, how the hell is this going to happen? All right. So that just throws you off. It throws your whole mind off, right? So you got to, I was literally sitting there for a minute, just like shocked almost. It's like, okay, so I just drove this whole way. I drove 35 minutes out here and just to be told they don't have any money. Why didn't they tell me that last night? They knew if they had money or didn't have money, or if it was an emergency. Andrew, I had an emergency. I had to spend the last money in my bank. I'm sorry. I know you're scheduled to come out this morning. I just woke up and I wanted to tell you. So don't come out here. Come out in a few days when I got my money. After I get paid. Okay. Or call me the morning of or tell me the night of when I'm confirming the appointment. Say, "Andrew, I don't have any money. Can you please, can we post date a check? Can I trade you something? Or can you just bill me? What is it that you do for in these cases? And then I'll work with you." And that day, I yesterday I worked with my client. I said, "You know what? You're nice people. I do your neighbor's horses. They're the ones that gave you my phone number. Um, I understand you're having financial issues because your boss isn't paying you. And that's the story they gave me." And I said, "Look, I'll do it this one time." And I said, "Okay, okay, I'll pay you next time you come out to do the horses. You know, I'll have the money." No, I'm not gonna wait 2 months for my money. That's not me being nice. I mean, that's taking advantage basically. Uh, I can do that in certain cases, but not with new people. Not, I don't know these people very well. I really don't know them. So why am I gonna do this for very new people? No, I want my money before I come out to do your horses again. So in a few days, in a week, in 2 weeks, in 1 month, that's kind of pushing it. But I want to be paid before that 2 month period when I'm back out here to do your horses. Or I'm not going to do your horses until I get paid. And when I do your horses again, you better have that money for me because now you're taking advantage of the situation, right? So these are expectations that people need to know. Um, so don't do your Farrier dirty like that. Don't call them out. Say, "Hey, yeah, we're still on. Come on out here," and then they get out there and say, "I don't have no money." What the hell is that? Don't do that. All right? Don't do it. All right. Next thing, pet peeve for all shoers. You tell them, right, when you first talk to someone, "I don't do bad horses anymore. I'm sorry, I got to tell all my clients this." "Oh, no, no, my horses are great. They're all wonderful. Never had any issues. I got, like 30 horses." Well, when someone has that many horses, how much time in the day do we really have? That person usually works because they got to provide for those 30 horses. Their husband or wife probably works too because they got to provide for those 30 horses. That's a lot of horses. Uh, and you get out there, these horses have no manners whatsoever. This is very common, extremely common. People brag about how wonderful their horses are, and then you get out there. "Oh, by the way, I haven't messed with my horses in like 2 months because I've been busy with work." Okay, Well, let's start with the good ones first, right? Okay, so they go get their best horse, and like, all right, this one's kind of being a jerk, but all right, if they're all kind of like this, it'll be okay. It'll be okay day. And then they gradually get worse, 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 and it's like, oh my God, this is gonna be a long, long day. I was like, I tell these people, I'm like, you told me they were good to do. What's going? Oh, it's probably just a bad day. I'm so sorry. Um, and you know what usually happens in these cases? These horses are gonna piss off their owners. These owners are usually gonna have some type of explosion. They have a meter that's just building up throughout the day. And I'm gonna say something, or I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm not doing this horse. Bring out the next one, and that's just gonna escalate the whole matter. They're gonna get pissed off at me, even though I told them over the phone I don't do bad horses, right? Now I'm the enemy. Now it's like I wish I didn't have this farrier out here. I'm wasting my day with him. Uh, you know, this is what they're thinking. You could see it on their facial expressions. It's like I just want this to get over with right away. But this is a catastrophe in their making. They set this up to fail. If I knew their horses were bad, I probably would have told them right off the bat, hey, get a younger farrier out there that has all day to work with these guys and is willing to do the back-breaking work, or get a vet out there to give these horses shots to calm them all down. I could work with these people, or I can only do a few a day when I'm in the area because I'm not going to do 20 horses that are bad in one day. It's just too hard on my body. Um, so please think of your farrier when you guys are doing this stuff. Like it's not their job to train your animal. It really isn't. Their job, a farrier, a horseshoer, it's in the title, horseshoer, horseshoeing, um, horse trimmer. It's hoofs. All they got to do is the hoofs, right? That's their job. They got to focus on the hoofs. They need to know the inside and outside of the hoofs. They need to not make your horse lame. They need to do corrective work on the hooves. That's their job. Their job is not horse trainer. There's actually a different person that you hire to train your horse. And I'm sorry, another pet peeve that we have is a lot of you people call yourself horse trainers. I honestly don't work for a lot of horse trainers. I don't work for a lot of horse boarders. I don't work for a lot of, not horse boarders, I'm sorry. I do a lot of boarding horses. I don't work for people that own those ranch facilities. And I don't work for, so trainers, ranch facility owners that board out their stables. Um, what else? There's other people I don't work for, but basically people that basically say they know everything, right? So I'm not going to go over there and have them tell me how to do my job. I don't get paid for them to tell me how to do my job. I get paid to go over there and do my job. Uh, if their last farriers were so good, then they should keep them. Why are they switching farriers? And those type of people, trainers and boarding facility owners, they're always changing out shoers. And why is that? Is it the shoer's fault or is it their fault? It's their fault. I'm sorry. It is. They make working there unbearable. I don't mind going to a facility, doing their boarders, their clients' horses. Those people are usually very nice, very sweet. I love those people. And if the owner says, "Hey, my shoer is not, won't be out for another few weeks, and I just got a new horse. Can you add to schedule?" Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it for a trainer. I'll do it for a facility owner. but I'm not gonna schedule them as my main client right away. Usually, I'll get these phone calls, and it's usually ladies. It's not, and sometimes men, but usually ladies, and they have these big personas over the phone. They'll leave a voice message, like I said, I'm at work. Hey, this is so and so at Triple Ace Boarding Stables. I'm the trainer, or I'm the owner, and my shoer is just he's never coming out here anymore. I try to contact him. He's just a piece of shit. All right. Well, right away, let's stop right there. He's a piece of shit. All right. So she's saying this shoer is a piece of shit. Who wants to work for someone knowing that they're being perceived as a piece of shit? Really, people? Really? You're going to call them? You could just say, look, my farrier isn't showing up. He isn't doing his job. He isn't calling me and telling me that he can't make it. Um, it's inconveniencing me, and I just can't deal with it anymore. See, that's a nicer way to put it, right? Yes, it is. So let's continue on the phone call, right? He's a piece of shit. Okay, I got 25 horses out here at my facility that I train or I board, and I need a farrier that shows up on time and knows what he's doing. I need references. Call me up right away with at least 10 references so I can call them. Or better yet, can you make a day where I could go out with you and chaperone and see how good of a job you do? Whoa, 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 whoa. So now I need to take you along on a day of work while you eye hawk me down watching every tiny move I do? No, that's not how it works. I'm sorry. You need to call me out there in a polite manner. I'll come out there, say, I'd like to test how you do. Uh, Maybe we'll start off with one or two horses just to see if I like your work. Okay, that's fair. That's fair, right? Because they're offering to give you a lot of business and they just want to see if your type of work is what they have in their mind. So that's a nicer way to do it. And I'll work with trainers and facility owners with when it comes to terms like that. Um, or so now let's move on. So let's say I do give them references. Let's say I ignore them calling their last year a piece of shit. Let's say I go out there. I'm out there now, right? Because let's say it's a slow month and I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to put up with this. I get out there, right away they have a bad attitude. This is most common the case with these type of people. They have a bad attitude. Uh, and I don't know, it could be about anything. They just have a chip on their shoulder, and I don't know why. They've been, they just had bad experiences with farriers in the past, right? Because they go through a lot of farriers, and it's always, in their eyes, the farrier's fault. When in reality, maybe you need to look closer to home, and it's your fault. But let's get past that. Now I'm starting to do my work, and they're just eyeballing me the entire time, telling me what to do. Look, there's a flare right there. Can you get that out? Or look, are you gonna get this chip out? Dude, I just started. Like, let me do my thing. Like, let me finish his horse like the way I'm gonna do it. And then when I'm done, you could look at the hoofs and say, look, there's a little bit of a flare on the inside here. Can you please rasp that out? Or look, you missed a chip here. Can you rasp that out? Or that nail looks a little low. Can you redo that nail for me, please? This is a high eventing horse. It's going to do a lot of running, and I don't want to lose a shoe. There's nice ways to approach people. Um, Come on, use your brains, people. All right, next one. Hypochondriacs. A lot of these out there. You get out there. Oh, my horse is dying. Please come out. I'll pay the emergency bill. These people have more money than they do brains. um, I know that kind of came out rude. Maybe I should take that back. They're not thinking rationally, right? So they're not rational thinkers. That's a nicer way of saying it, and I apologize. Um, they're typically people that always believe they're dying, they're sick, everybody in their family's sick. there's all these kind of troubles in the world, and the world's on fire, so to speak. Uh, right now California is on fire, a lot of fires out there. But so let's get back to this. And they're calling out every vet, every farrier, because they believe their horse has some type of hoof issue or medical issues, and they keep trying to treat these non-existing issues, which is going to create issues. Uh, this isn't healthy. I've kind of learned to listen to them, be patient with them, give them the respect they deserve as my clients, and agree with them half the time, and not agree with them half the time. It's a give and take. It's a little tug of war, and you can't let them win, and you can't win either. You just have to constantly play a tug of war game with these people, and that's just using your common sense, so to speak, because you don't want to offend these people. They honestly believe something's wrong with their horse, even though they have a perfectly sound horse. There's no issues. The vet says there's no issues. The trainer says there's no issues. The farriers all said no issues. So you just have to let them believe what they believe and say, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? I think you're right. And I just did this differently today, and we're gonna see if that helps, okay? Oh yeah, thank you. Oh my God, you're the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad I found you." This is very common. This is very common. They just want to be heard, and even though you're not doing anything, um, it you're doing it something for their mind, whereas maybe you're not doing different for the horse hooves. And if you're one of these people that has high anxiety, and I'm sorry if I offend you, but if there's a farrier, a vet, and a trainer saying there's nothing wrong with your horse, there's probably nothing wrong with your horse. If just one of those said there's nothing wrong with your horse, then get a second opinion. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is something wrong with your horse. Get a third opinion. Maybe there is something wrong. But when you've run out of roads to take and everybody's saying your horse is fine, your horse is probably fine. All right, so next expectation, blankets. I really don't mind working with blankets, but it should be known that farriers do expect the blankets of horses to be off when they get there, because the blankets are usually full of crap and pee and whatever. They're all dirty, they're nasty. It's best to pull off the blankets if it's in the winter time. I know you're gonna have to put it back on, but it's nice so they don't have the farrier doesn't have a poopy blanket in their face the whole time while they're working. Fly spray is another thing. Make sure you guys have fly spray. Yes, some farriers bring fly spray with them, but really that's not their job either. You should provide that for your own horses. I know it's expensive. You just have to find the brands that work. And yeah, they don't work very long, but they work long enough for the farrier to get their job done. Um, Another thing, if you know your horse is going to be bad, it's your job to have a vet out there or get ACE or there's a Dorm paste. It's a sedative that's kind of like a worming paste, but it's a sedative paste, and you shoot it in their mouth. It's your job to get things like that and give it to your horse before the farrier comes out there, and so the farrier doesn't have a bad experience with your horse, and your horse doesn't have a bad experience with you. Another thing for my Latino community, dancing horses are hell to shoe and trim. I know you guys think it's pretty. All ethnicities believe it's pretty. They all shared the videos on Facebook and Instagram, right? Uh, I don't like the way you guys train those horses. I don't believe beating them with a stick to get them to dance is good. So I just want to get that out there because you guys need to know how these horses are trained. They're basically beaten with a stick to get them to dance like that. So now when the shoer gets out there and they barely touch the leg or go to touch the leg, these horses start dancing right away. Or you start hammering and they start dancing while you're trying to hammer. These horses are terrified of anything touching their legs. Uh, it's just hell. I don't do them anymore, really. I just don't do them. I just tell people I'm sorry, I don't do them unless they're sedated. It's not healthy. It's not safe for them or for me. It's just a bad experience all the way around. Another expectation of the farrier with his clients is um, quit making excuses for your horses. If they're just being bad, call it like it is. They're being bad. Say, look, I'm sorry they're being such a jerk today. I'm really sorry. They're normally not like this. Right? I'm gonna believe you. Um, Most of the time I'm gonna believe you. Unless I'm out there every time and they're always like that. Oh, are they sore? Oh my God. Are you doing something to make them sore under there? Is that why they keep pulling away? Oh my God, why aren't they doing good for you? Um, so one issue is some horses are kind of like one or two person horses. So like they'll be very good for their owner and they'll be very good for like their shoer because they see their shoer very regularly. But they hate everybody else. They hate, and then let's say you switch up shoers and now you got a new person going out there to mess with their hooves and they don't trust this new person. That is the case. So that's a good excuse. That's a good excuse. That's probably the only good excuse, unless a horse really is hurting, or you did sure did do a hot nail because that happens. That happens, or you pop an abscess or whatever. So there are issues that sures can cause, but I'm talking about the cases where um, the horse is just being bad and the people are making excuses. Oh, well, I rode him yesterday, he's probably sore. Or if you rode the horse yesterday, I don't know how hard you rode him, or what type of terrain. Yes, it could possibly be sore, but most common case, if you're just riding him in the round pen, uh that horse actually should be better the next day. It should be calmer. It should be better. Or there are other circumstances, like maybe and at nighttime there's a coyote on the property or a mountain lion, and that just has them wound up for the whole day because they had to stay up all night trying to guard their area and not get attacked. So there are cases like that. But again, I'm talking about the horses that are just being dickheads. Call it like it is. This horse is being a jerk. You need to work with your horse. So take ownership of that horse, and that horse is being bad because you're not giving it enough time. So I hate to be blunt, but that's just commonly the issue. Another expectation that we have as farriers, you guys know if you're gonna be out there, if your horse ties up, tie him up. We actually prefer that. It lets us just focus on work, and we actually do our job faster rather than someone holding the horse and now we're talking with them. Not that we don't mind talking with them. Actually, a lot of times farriers are kind of like counselors, so to speak, or therapists for a lot of older people or lonely people, and they truly enjoy talking with the farrier, which is fine. I'm okay with that. And the reason why I'm saying just tie them up and go do your own thing is because a lot of people that hold their horses that don't want to hold their horses, even though they can just tie them up, but they're there because they feel they need to be there for the farrier. A lot of people do the sighing, and that is so annoying. The it's like, dude, I get it already. You're bored. Like, go do your thing. Tie up the horse. I can listen to an audiobook. I love listening to audiobooks while I work. Other fairies love listening to the music. You don't got to stand there. You don't got to talk to us. If being there is so boring for you, just walk away. If your horse ties up, do your thing. We don't mind it. If we have an issue, we're going to come and get you. If we see an issue, we're going to come and get you. But no need to be sighing. Like, dude, chill out. I love you guys, but chill out. Anyways, so let's wrap this up. Tipping. This is the most common message that I got, in regards to episode number one. What do you do about tipping? A lot of people don't even know to tip farriers. So let's back up a pace. Any type of servicing job, anyone that is in a profession where they provide a service to someone else. Technically, like almost every job is a service job in America. Believe it or not, if you go to other countries, they actually aren't predominantly service jobs. They actually aren't, believe it or not. But in America, we a big servicing industry, right? So as a shoer, as a waiter, as a waitress, as a house cleaner, a maid, a bartender, anyone doing a service, and let's say, especially someone that's not getting like health insurance from their job, not getting dental insurance, eye insurance, they live on tips. Believe it or not, they live on tips. They got to pay their own health insurance, their own everything, right? So tipping them is nice. It helps them out, especially if you could afford it. Uh, the biggest tippers in my industry are the poorest people. The poorest. Yes. I feel bad when they give me a tip. I should be happy. I should be excited. Oh my God, I got a tip. This is awesome. And someone receiving tips, you should always feel that way. You should be always grateful. You should never be expecting a tip. Never become that person. Don't become that dickhead that says, I should get a tip. I did a good job. Well, first of all, if you have an attitude like that, you probably did not do a good job. They probably saw your attitude. And who wants to tip someone with an attitude? People want to tip someone with a smile on their face. All right? So when you're doing some type of service work in any field of work, have a smile. If you're having a bad day, maybe you don't have to smile, but don't have a frown. Just be neutral. And, people could read that. They can understand when people are having a bad day, right? Humans are empathetic by nature. We could tell when someone looks angry, when they look mad, and we could tell when someone looks sad, and we could tell when someone looks like they're just tired. They're having a hard day. And as empathetic people, we're most likely going to tip them pretty good, right? If you're being a dick, you're not going to get a tip, right? So, um, and really, if you're having that bad of a day, you shouldn't even show up to work. You should call out sick. And yes, you should, because technically your mind is sick. Your mind needs a break. If you're that negative, that bad-minded, you shouldn't even be there. Your coworkers don't need that. Your clients don't need that. They don't need it. They don't need to deal with your bullshit, right? They're not paying you to have bad attitude. They're paying you to do your service and do it well. Um, Even if you don't like your job, you should at least be neutral. Especially in the horseshoeing field, I believe everybody needs to go to work um, at a neutral. You can't be too excited. You can't be angry because these horses can feel your vibe. And that sets the tone for your day. You need to be very calm, collected around horses and their owners and show them respect and the horses respect. And you'll get that in return. Okay, so back to tipping. I most commonly get tips from poor people or people living paycheck to paycheck and they need to sign checks, for 2 weeks out. They say, Andrew, can you cash this in 2 weeks, please? And they'll give me like a $25 tip. Um, I really feel bad. I feel bad when they give me tips. I appreciate it. I really do. And I'm not, uh, what's the word? I'm not trying to rub this in to people. I'm not trying to belittle people. I believe I love you people. I love you guys the most. I love my hardworking people that are living paycheck to paycheck, or the people that are just very poor, barely getting by. These people are normally the ones that rescue horses because they have big hearts. That's why they have these horses in the first place. It's not because they're riding them. It's not because they go out and do all these things with their horses. Yes, they'll try to do that, but they're mostly people that rescue animals, and that's why they don't have a lot of money, because their money is going to feed bills, to vet bills, to all this stuff. And you have to understand that as a farrier and any service people, um, people have other expenses. You're not the only one that they have to give money to. Uh, and I love these people. This is how I was raised. I was poor middle class, right on the border there. I used to be poor at some points in my life, and I used to be low middle class at some points in my life, and I used to be just regular middle class. Um, there's different areas of expectations, but these people are the common tippers. Then let's go to phase two. We got the young people. Let's go to young people first. Young people don't tip. Um, are It's very rare. Some do. I can't say all don't, but it's very rare to find millennials and younger people tip. I don't know why. I don't think they're brought up, or maybe they don't have a good job. Uh, they just don't tip. It's very strange. It's just a different culture, I believe. And then let's go to old people. Old people, if they tip, it's very little. It's like a few dollars, $2. I'll even get like cookies and apples. I'll get like a lunch pails. Like I'll get lunch sacks. Like here's your tip. You get a lunch sack, or here's your tip. Here's $2, and here's a bunch of coupons to Burger King. It's like, okay, thank you. And you have to smile. You have to smile about stuff like that, because maybe back in their day, that was a big thing. They're going to, if someone gave them a lunch, that's big. Maybe they couldn't afford a lunch, and that's huge. Um, and or coupons, older people love coupons. Younger people don't use coupons. Millennials and, even my parents don't use coupons. So, um, that's a big thing. You have to take your swings as they come, and I believe that's a good thing, because you're getting different experiences from different people. Now let's go to the average person. The average person is going to tip on special occasions, or when they deem you just deserve a tip out of the randomness of their heart, or maybe they got a good paycheck that week, or whatever the expectation is. It's not all the time, not like the poor people, but they're going to give you a tip, and it's usually going to be on holidays, or uh, they might overpay you on accident. They just say, oh, just keep the tip. It's usually scenarios like that. And, those tips are nice too, because you're not expecting it. You're never expecting a tip from these people, and when you get it, it's a nice surprise. Now let's go to rich people, or wealthy people. They don't even have to be rich, but they are wealthy. They're upper middle class. These are people that have fancy cars, fancy homes, um, all their kids, themselves, their wives or husbands, they all have nice clothes. They're the nice preppy looking people, right? They have nice big ranches, top dollar horses. These people never tip. Never. They never tip. They never tip. What is going on? Why is the poorest people always tipping and the richest people never tipping? I can look back 13 years of doing this service, horseshoeing, and tips I've gotten from wealthy people, I would say I could count them on one hand. I'd say 5 or less times I've been giving tips. Just recently, a rich lady, she just gave me a $20 tip. That was the first time in like 8 years I've been doing her horses. Um, the first time. Uh, it's so strange. Um, her father was a big like NASA engineer dude. He created, I believe, like rockets and satellites or something like that. So he's like a multimillionaire, and then he passed away, and she inherited, she gets a money from the trust fund and all that, but she can afford to give tips. She's got a big ranch. Um, I don't want to pick on her, but there's other people like that. I know she's not gonna be listening to this, so that's why I could talk about it, because she's an older lady. Um, but there's a lot of scenarios like that where the wealthiest just don't tip. And I believe they're wealthy because they manage their money well and they don't just give it away. Um, and that's something that the poor people or the lower middle class can learn. They can learn not to be so frugal with their money. But let's maybe that's not something that they have to learn. Maybe they already know that life isn't about money. My grandfather passed away a few years ago, or a couple years ago, and we were cleaning out his house. No one in the family wanted any of his stuff. It was all old, it was all cheap because he was a poor man. Nobody wanted anything except for the pictures. Um, we just threw it all away. Everything. Everything that man had in his life got thrown away, except for his tools. I think we kept some of his tools. That's sad. That is really sad. This man's whole life collection just got taken to the dump in 2 days. Uh, when we die, we don't take anything with us. All right? We take nothing. We can leave it to our kids, but what if you don't have any kids? Or what if your kids don't want your stuff? Why are you hanging on to these things? Have you ever asked your kid if they want that item? If they say no, then why do you have it? Why, well, you can have it because you enjoy it, right? You enjoy it, so you can have it. But just think about it. When you go, is that item just going to go to the dump? So why are you going to have all these fancy things, all this money in the bank? Why not just spend that money, enjoy life, spend that money on you? You don't even have to give it to your kids. It's nice to provide for your kids, your blood, but you're alive. Enjoy life. Use that money to go on vacations. Use that money to go out to eat at nice restaurants. Tip your waitress. Um, have horses. Pay your farriers, pay your vets, give them tips. Uh, you know, that's use your money well. Why are you hoarding? Why are you hoarding your money? And maybe that's something that poor and lower middle class people understand. They're just trying to live life and they're trying to get by the best they can. They go to work, they have honest to God jobs, and you know what? They're trying to make the world a better place. So I hope you enjoyed episode number 2 of Killing the Void. Um, like I said, I'm new to podcasting, and they aren't all going to be about horseshoeing. So I wish you guys a good day, a good week, a good month, whenever you're hearing this, a good year. And please come back and listen. Tell me what you guys think. All right, bye.